Hi friends, and thanks for joining in today's video. Today we are doing all things black and white for Christmas. I will be doing 3 videos for Christmas decor, 3 weeks worth. This week is just going to be the black and white. So let's get started with the candy cane decor. I first took this Dollar Tree candy cane that has a bunch of tinsel on it and removed all of the tinsel. Then we're going to wrap it with some extra bulky white yarn. And we're just going to wrap it all around. Once we've got that all wrapped, I took a second one and I wanted it to be the other direction. So I go ahead and cut just part of the candy cane, and we're going to place it on the opposite end. And we're just going to cut this end a little bit too, and then hot glue everything back together so that this candy cane faces the other direction. And then once everything is hot glued, I go ahead and add the yarn again to this one. Wrap it all around. Once I got to the edge of the wrapping, I go ahead and hot glue the ends just so that it stays secure. With the first part, I had tied it to the wreath form, but the ends, instead of tying, I hot glued them. And then we're just going to secure these both together. I just used another piece of yarn to secure them together. And then we're going to use some of this velvet ribbon and make a beautiful bow in the center. Okay, for the next DIYs, we're going to do a few pillows. So I first took this one, some white fabric, and did a 18 by 18 cut so that this one ends up being a square. And then I did 2 pieces of 18 by 10.5. And then we're doing this so that it becomes a pillowcase instead of an actual pillow. And we're going to take those half pieces and we're going to fold in an edge so that we can hem the edges. And then I just ironed it and then sewed across. And then I took a bunch of fabric that I had. I did 5 different pieces and made some little triangles out of them so that they can look kind of like trees. And then once I've got my tree pieces, I added them to the front of the pillowcase, that long 18 by 18 square piece. And I also added some stumps to these trees, just some bases with the same material. And then I added some basting bond spray to these to secure them so that I can then sew around the edges of each piece. And that the basting spray, you don't have to have it. I just thought it would be easier than needing to add some needles into each side to secure them where I wanted them. And then, like I said, we're just going to sew the edges around each of these. Once we have all the trees sewed down, then we're going to add those edge pieces or those half pieces back to the top of the pillow and sew along each edge. Then we can flip the pillow inside out and you've got yourself a little pillowcase. I also did this design with a rectangle and some stockings. For this next pillow, we are going to take a very long rectangle piece, fold it in half, and then sew along the edges, leaving a gap in the middle. I then took another piece of fabric and cut out a full tree. Once we've got the desired image cut out, we're going to add it to the front of the pillowcase. And we're just going to do this by adding some needles so that it stays secure. Then I took some thin yarn and a needle, and we're going to sew it down to the actual pillowcase. And we're just going to kind of do this in a design. So we're going to skip a little bit so that it kind of gives a very beautiful edging around the entire image. Once we've got that all finished up, we're going to insert some fluff just in that hole that we left. Then once we've got it all the fluff inside, we're going to close up that hole, and we're going to be doing an invisible stitch. So we first take the knot end and insert it into the pillow or the pillowcase. And then we're going to take just little pieces of each side of the edge and insert our hook into each side. And then once we've got just a little bit, we can pull tight and it becomes an invisible stitch. Now this last pillow is going to be made with only hot glue because I know not everyone has a sewing machine or doesn't like to sew by hand. So we're going to take a piece of velvet fabric, and I did a 14 by 22 inches. And you can do 2 of those, but I just basically did double that and then folded it over. And then we're going to hot glue all of the edges. Now please remember that with this being a hot glue pillow, we are not going to want to put it in the washing machine because it can ruin the pillow and maybe your washing machine. So just hand wash this one if it does need to be washed. But once we've got all of the edges, leaving a gap so that we can add some fluff later around the edges, we're going to pull it inside out. And then I took some yarn and we're going to hot glue a word onto it. I used the word bright, and we're just going to do that kind of in cursive. And then we're going to hot glue it down. Once we've got our word hot glued, now we can add our fluff. And then we're just going to hot glue that edge that we kept open for adding the fluff. Next up is some trees. Okay, so I took this Dollar Tree tree and I took all of the tinsel off, and then we're going to use this form for a velvet tree. So I took this velvet ribbon that I got from Hobby Lobby. It was originally $10, so they have their 50% off, so I got it for $5. And then we're just going to hot glue the ribbon all around the form. Now, I couldn't figure out how to wrap the ribbon around just circular to make it look good without it like bulking in weird spots. So this is the kind of design that I came up with. I just kind of wrapped the first part around in a circle and then went straight down to the very bottom. And honestly, I kind of like the way that it looked. It kind of gives it 2 different depending on what side you're looking at, it gives it like a different look. Like you can either see the ribbon coming up or you can see the ribbon wrapping around. So I don't know, it's kind of fun. And then I did cut a little piece of the ribbon and made a bow, although I don't love the way that this ended up looking, so maybe opt out of doing this and maybe go all the way up to the top with your ribbon. It might look a little better. But here you go. Here's what it looks like with a little bow on the top. Okay, for this next one, I took some of these styrofoam trees from Hobby Lobby. They're originally $2.50, but again, with their 50% off, it ended up only being like $1.25 for 6 of them. And then I took these and I added a little bottle cap to the top so that it had a little bit more of a raised, so that when I added this Dollar Tree ribbon to it, it wouldn't sit so flush to the ground. And then I just took about a couple inches of this ribbon, this Dollar Tree ribbon, and added little loops. And then we're going to basically hot glue a bunch of these loops around this styrofoam so that it gives it kind of one of those looks that I've seen at very high-end stores and even Home Goods and things like that. For this next tree, I used that styrofoam trees from Hobby Lobby again, and some leather that I had on hand from another project. And I just basically am going to wrap and hot glue the styrofoam in this leather. Now for this next project, I am going to paint a couple trees onto just some canvases. I got these ones at Michael's in a value pack. I think it's like a value pack of 8 for like $13 or something. And or you could also get them from Dollar Tree. I know Dollar Tree sells canvases. But basically, I'm just going to paint 3 separate trees just with black paint, some black Waverly ink paint. Now we're on to the ornaments. For this very first one, it is incredibly special to me because I lost my dog Oliver this year. So I first went on to Canva and outlined an image of him. This one is of him holding his dog bowl. He loved to hold his dog bowl everywhere he went. well, not ever, but it was a lot. So I basically just outlined his face with the dog bowl, just using the drawing part in Canva. And then I hid the image behind. And then I took that image from Canva and put it into Cricut Design. And we're going to basically cut this out of Cricut Design along with the words that say forever loved, and then his name, Oliver, and the dates. So 2018 to, wow, sorry, this one's very special to me, to 2023. And then I took some acrylic ornaments that I got from Hobby Lobby, and we're going to put the vinyl onto the acrylic. We're just going to weed it out and then add it to the acrylic. Once the vinyl is all added, I added a layer of Mod Podge to the top to secure the vinyl to the acrylic. And you can, instead of using the Mod Podge, if you don't like the way it looks, you could also use a spray varnish. But I thought this actually came out really cool looking. This next ornament is going to be pretty simple. I just took this $1.99 ornament from Hobby Lobby, which ended up only being 99 cents. And I painted it white and black, just kind of altering. But I first painted the entire thing all black, or all white. And then after that dried, I went in with the black and just made some details. I just kind of did layers of black altering, and then we're going to paint the top opposite of that color. This next one is one of my favorites and is so simple to do. So I took one of the matte ornaments that I got and painted a edging, basically just the bottom half I painted with Mod Podge to give it more of a glossy look so that it had matte and gloss. Then I took these paint pens from Michael's. I got a pack of them, a pack of 3 for $12. And I painted little trees, and then I also painted just little dots to kind of resemble some snow just on the upper matte half. And then while we've got the paint pens out, we might as well just paint a bunch of ornaments. So I painted some gloss ornaments that I have just with the paint pens as well. Just did kind of like snowflakey designs on this one. Then of course we're going to paint one more, and this one is a bunch of trees that I did again on a gloss ornament. Now for this next ornament, we're going to do some beaded candy canes. Now I just took some wire that I've got from Hobby Lobby, and I added a little bead at the very bottom, and then I also added a crimp bead and crimped that to the wire. And then you're just going to add the desired beads that you want. I went with these really cool black and white beads, and then some matte black beads along with some black spacing beads. And I just did 3 different candy cane bead designs for my tree. So here they are. This next one is so simple yet so cute. I took a foam ball that I got from Hobby Lobby in a giant pack, and then I took some very fluffy bulky yarn, and I basically just hot glued and wrapped the yarn around the foam ball, basically making a snowball. And then I think these would be so cute just in a ball or a bowl, just as snowballs. But also in your tree, you can add some ribbon or some more yarn to the top of them. And then I just used a little pin to stick inside of the foam balls to secure it, to make it an ornament. And for this last ornament, I took a pack of stars from Hobby Lobby again, and I painted them white. And then after the paint has dried, I took some more of that leather fabric that I used earlier, and we're going to basically cut out a little section of the star, and then we're going to glue that down. Once that fabric is secured down, I took some Dollar Tree stickers, and I just took these gold ones, and we're going to write a word onto the star. Now for the final black and white DIY, we're going to just do a very simple beaded garland. I took these beads that I got for $3, but 50% off, so they were only $1.50 per pack, but I used 2 packs for my full tree, and we're just going to basically string a bunch of beads onto a piece of yarn, and then use all of those beads for the garland. Honestly, the cheapest garland I've ever done, but I think it turned out so cute. It sparkles in the tree, and I just love the way it looks. Thank you so much if you guys are still around to the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did make it to the end, go ahead and let me know what your favorite DIY was from today's video. And of course, I'll see you guys next time. Next week should be some pastel DIYs for a Candyland theme, and I hope to see you guys there. Bye. Have a great week.